In southern Jefferson Parish, Grand Isle schools have canceled class starting tomorrow. There's also a mandatory evacuation for campers and RVs and a voluntary evacuation for the rest of that barrier island. Amelia Strahan's been talking with residents and officials there today as they prepare. She's joining us live with the latest. What are you hearing, Amelia?
Well, the rain has stopped out here, but we know how common flooding in this area is, so locals are not wasting any time. I heard you mention that mandatory evacuation of campers, RVs, trailers. We passed dozens of trailers and campers already on their way to higher ground, and city officials are telling locals to plan ahead and play it safe.
You know, you always try to prepare for the worst.
Tropical Storm Francine has residents across Grand Isle preparing for the unexpected.
It's kind of the game we play, you know. It's kind of thrown on us kind of quick.
And after losing almost everything in Hurricane Ida, Charlie Lou is packing up and not taking any chances.
We had to almost do a total rebuild for Ida.
Across the street, Jason Sino is right behind him.
We'll always evacuate, we'll always be safe.
And safety is Grand Isle Police Chief Christopher Hernandez's top priority.
Make sure you have all your groceries, your water, your gas for your generators, your flashlights, things like that.
On Monday, the city canceled school and announced voluntary evacuation for residents and a mandatory evacuation for trailers and campers. If you're going to hit the road, Hernandez says do it sooner rather than later.
Thinking that you'll leave at the last minute, think again. I mean, the floodgates may be closed.
And for anyone in need of shelter, the Grand Isle Multiplex Center is open to anyone in need.
To make sure that they bring their own goods, their own sleeping bags, pillows, and blankets, or whatever.
Once weather picks up, Hernandez urges residents riding out the storm to stay indoors and off the roads.
Plan ahead.
We normally have time to prepare, but this one looked like it got on us pretty quick.
And I just want to reiterate what that police chief said. You know, nothing is more important than your family and your family's safety. So go ahead, if there's anything you need to get, medications, food, get that now before the weather picks up. Reporting live, Amelia Strahan, WWL, Louisiana.
All right, that's great advice. Thanks, Amelia. Plaquemines Parish Schools also changing this week. For schools on the South End and the East Bank, they will have an early release on Tuesday. Belle Chase area schools will have a full day tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, all schools will be closed. They'll make an updated announcement tomorrow morning about the rest of this week. The Empire Safe Harbor is open for boaters who want to move to a safer spot. Officials say they will send out an alert on Facebook when they have to close the harbor. St. Bernard residents are closely watching Francine, and while the exact path of the storm really has yet to be determined, parish leaders expect this one to be more of a wind than a water event for us. Paul Murphy is joining us with the latest from Bayou Bienvenue.
Katie, a tropical storm watch is now in effect here in St. Bernard Parish. So take a look. You can see that there are dark clouds on the horizon and the tide is beginning to come up a little bit. Today was certainly a day for residents and camp owners to prepare for what may come over the next 48 hours. There was plenty of traffic on Bayou La Loutre as fishermen moved their boats to safe harbor. There was also a steady stream of recreational boats, trailers, and trucks on the road in coastal St. Bernard Parish, heading to higher ground as Tropical Storm Francine formed in the Gulf of Mexico. Oysterman Daniel Nakhan spent the morning on his boat, the Glory, preparing for the storm.
Yeah, trying to get the boat ready, trying to tie up, make sure everything's good. Never know, the storm's unpredictable, you know.
Crabbers got one last catch in before moving their traps on shore. Craig Mellerine said at $60 a trap, if you leave them in the water during a storm, you could easily lose your investment. He had already picked up 100 traps with about 200 to go.
Just trying to get it out harm's way. Got a bunch of wind and rain coming, so storm surge, no good for crab traps. Trying to get them all up.
Charter Captain George Rick said, when you get a storm in the Gulf, it's time to pick up your boats.
Well, the spaghetti models don't look good. So, you know, we don't take any chances. We can't take any chances. This is my livelihood, my boat. Yeah, we got to get out of here.
St. Bernard Parish leaders are expecting peak winds to hit between 39 and 57 miles per hour with a storm surge of 2 to 4 feet.
The earliest arrival of tropical storm force winds on the coast of Louisiana is approximately 8 to 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Latest arrival time is sometime early Wednesday morning.
Emergency Management Director John Rahm reminded residents now is the time to complete your preparations before the wind becomes hazardous.
People, listen to your elected officials, watch your news, and be smart.
As we've learned over the years, every storm is different, and you don't know for sure where it will ultimately hit until it makes landfall.
Hope everybody takes it serious too. You know, it don't sound like much, but all of a sudden it could turn into something. You know, so that's the way it's going to go.
And we should say that 4 self-serve sandbag stations did open up here in St. Bernard at 1 o'clock this afternoon. That includes one across from the parish government building and one at the port of St. Bernard. Again, a tropical storm watch is now in effect here in St. Bernard. Along Bayou Bienvenue, Paul Murphy, WWL, Louisiana.
Thank you, Paul. Lafourche Parish has opened its self-serve sandbag station as well. It's located at the Public Works barn. They're asking residents to check their storm drains for debris, which is a good idea for all of us. Schools are open tomorrow in Lafourche, but officials made the call to cancel classes Wednesday and Thursday. Nicholls State and Fletcher Community College are also closing on Wednesday and Thursday. Officials say they will make a decision about Friday's classes on Thursday. Schools in Terrebonne Parish, they're closing later this week as a result of Tropical Storm Francine as well. Tomorrow classes will happen as usual, but they're canceled again Wednesday and Thursday. Officials have declared a parish-wide state of emergency for Francine. Trash collection is also canceled for Wednesday. New Orleans officials are also canceling classes this week. On Tuesday, all public schools in Orleans will have early dismissal. Classes are canceled on Wednesday and Thursday. They say they're doing this to give families and staff time to prepare for whatever Francine might bring. We're tracking all the different school closures that have just been announced. All you need to do is check our website for all the details.